Hi guys. So for the provincial comparison assignment, my province is Alberta. So I'm going to compare Alberta to Ontario. So the objectives today are Act legislation, CRDHA and CDHO, registration, orders and self-initiation, scope of practice, quality assurance, complaints and discipline process, prevention of sexual abuse, record keeping, privacy, confidentiality. Did you know that Alberta has 3,250 registered dental hygienists and Ontario has 12,903 registered dental hygienists? In Alberta, so for accredited dental hygiene programs, Alberta has one public institution. In Ontario, we have 12 public institutions and 6 private institutions. Credentials for Ontario is a dental hygiene diploma. In Alberta, it is a bachelor degree only at the University of Alberta. So Act legislation. So the Health Professions Act, HPA, came into force in Alberta in 2001. The profession of dental hygiene was included in 2006. The Health Professions Act places significant responsibilities on each health professional college to carry out its activities and govern its regulated members in a manner that protects and serves the public interest, provide direction to and regulate to the practice of the regulated professions by its regulated members, establish, maintain, and enforce entry-level and continuing competence, knowledge, skills, attitudes, and judgments required to provide health professional services, and standards of practice, establish, maintain, and enforce a code of ethics, and approve programs of study and education courses for the purpose of registration requirements. The CRDHA and CDHO. So CRDHA stands for College of Registered Dental Hygienists of Alberta. Their mission is to ensure Alberta dental hygienists have the knowledge, skills, attitude, and judgment to provide safe, effective, ethical, and competent oral health care to Albertans. The CDHO, as we all know, stands for College of Dental Hygienists of Ontario. Their mission is to regulate the practice of dental hygiene profession in a way that promotes the overall health and safety of the Ontario public. So the College of Registered Dental Hygienists of Alberta is a regulatory body for the dental hygienist profession in Alberta. Its authority is granted by the Government of Alberta under the Health Professions Act. The Act delegates professional self-governance to Alberta's 28 regulatory colleges and establishes standard processes for registration, continuing competency, complaints, and discipline. It also requires provision of professional standards of practice and codes of ethics. Through these processes, the Act ensures that health professionals maintain high standards of competency, safety, and ethics and provide Albertans with safe, high-quality care. A major responsibility of professional colleges is to investigate complaints about regulated members and to impose disciplinary sanctions if appropriate. The HPA requires that colleges carry out the governance responsibilities in a manner that protects and serves the public interest. So registration. So in order to become registered, the dental hygienist needs to complete a criminal record check, provide evidence of good character, successfully complete the written exam, a national boards exam, um, successfully complete the CRDHA jurisprudence exam, provide evidence of a current CPR certification at the level determined by CRDHA Council, be sufficiently proficient in the English language, remit all required application and registration fees. So the CRDHA also requires all persons on the General Register to also be a member of the Canadian Dental Hygienist Association, so the CDHA. So renewal of the license. So once you have your license in Alberta, so the renewal of the license is So hygienists can legally practice in Alberta until October 31st. So prior to October 31st, they must apply for a renewed practice permit through the CRDHA renewal process and renew yearly thereafter. So in Ontario, this is the same, but this is on or before January 1st. Orders and self-initiation. On October 31st, 2006, the Dental Hygienist Profession Regulation under the Health Professions Act came into effect. The HPA allowed dental hygienists to practice to the full extent of their competencies in a variety of practice settings, including independent practice. So dental hygienists in Alberta are authorized under provincial legislation to self-initiate upon registration. So in Alberta, in Ontario, we need to be in a good standing with the CDHO, and we need to have practiced for at least 2 years or 3,200 hours. And then you can apply for your CDHO approval, the self-initiation course. So a scope of practice for dental hygienists in Alberta. So they are allowed to do scaling and root planing, administer local anesthesia, administer nitrous oxide, diagnose caries, have prescribing authority, prescribe radiographs, perform orthodontic procedures in conjunction with a dentist, perform orofacial myofunctional therapy, place permanent restorative materials in conjunction with a dentist, place temporary restorative materials independent of a dentist, use lasers for periodontal therapy. So in compared to Ontario, so as we all know here in Ontario, we as a dental hygienist cannot administer nitrous oxide, we cannot diagnose caries, and we cannot prescribe radiographs. So quality assurance and continuing education. So a continuing competence program is mandated by the Health Professions Act. The Act obligates all health professions to view the maintenance of competence and the ability to apply advance in their profession as a lifelong process. It requires colleges to establish mandatory continuing competency programs in their regulations. All colleges approach continuing competency differently, but usually include one or more of the following: self-directed learning, self-assessment and evaluation, development of competence plans, recertification, for example CPR, and on-the-job experience. Also, administrative and teaching positions in Alberta generally require completion of graduate education at a master's or PhD level. Complaints and discipline process. So professional conduct complaints are taken very seriously. One of the roles of the College of Registered Dental Hygienists of Alberta, as regulator of the dental hygienist profession under authority of the Health Professions Act, is to protect the public from unprofessional conduct and hold members of the profession accountable for the care they provide. Unprofessional conduct is conduct that is determined to be unskilled practice and professional or ethical misconduct. Any Albertan can file a complaint with the CRDHA regarding a dental hygiene practitioner, and the college will investigate and determine what, if any, remedial action is required. The Health Professions Act sets out the processes to be followed for addressing issues of professional conduct complaints to protect the public and for handling accountability and discipline. In all circumstances, the principles of fairness, reasonableness, and due process shall prevail. Prevention of sexual abuse. So the College of Registered Dental Hygienists of Alberta is committed to provide dental hygienists with information and resources to assist them in treating their clients responsibly, consistent with the HPA, in a manner that reflects the profession's commitment to respecting personal dignity. The CRDHA has a policy of zero tolerance for sexual abuse of or sexual misconduct towards clients. Guidelines for professional conduct with clients. So many clients feel particularly vulnerable in an oral healthcare setting and some practice settings require dental hygienists to be physically near the clients. Therefore, dental hygienists must use a professional judgment to determine the client's comfort level and whether the presence of an additional person is advisable. If in doubt, a witness to the provision of care is advised. Dental hygienists are responsible for communicating effectively by paying attention to the ways which information is conveyed by their words and actions. They must also be compassionate listeners and be sensitive to concerns and needs of clients. So record keeping, privacy, and confidentiality. So maintain complete and accurate documentation and record consistent with applicable legislation, code of ethics, practice standards, guidelines, and policies. This includes documenting all collected data, including the date and all aspects of dental hygiene process of care model, so assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, and evaluation, in sufficient detail for other health professions to continue with the implementation of the dental hygiene care plan. So also recording information that is legible and concise and accurate, including the dental hygienist's initials, signature, or electronic identity. Use common language, symbols, and abbreviations that can be readable, understood by professional peers. Correcting errors or adding information to the client record in accordance with best practices so that the original entry, the identity of the person making the correction, the reason for the correction, and the date are included. Maintaining records and data in an information management system with sufficient safeguards to protect the confidentiality and security of the information, and retaining clients' records for a minimum of 10 years following the date of the last service provided, or in the case of a minor client, until the client is 20 years of age, or for 10 years, whichever is longer. So thank you for listening. This is the end of my presentation. If there's any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much.